Good morning, everyone, and let me add my welcome to Jonathan's in welcoming you to our HMRC Stakeholder Conference today. And let me reassure you that AI hasn't written my speech. I was busy enjoying putting the finishing touches to it this weekend. I am delighted to see so many of our key tax and customs stakeholders in the room today, and to have had an opportunity just before over tea to meet some of you in my now third week in the job. I'm honoured to have been appointed to the role of Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury, and I'm really looking forward to working with JP, Jonathan, and the whole team in close collaboration with customers and stakeholders on HMRC's vital transformation as we deliver against our ambitious plans in the months and years ahead. By way of introduction, since I'm a bit new in post, let me tell you just a bit about me. So I started my career in Treasury on the first floor in the building just over the road. Now I've moved up a floor to the second floor. And I spent my past decade, my career really, working on economic policy. I spent 7 years at the think tank, the Resolution Foundation, which has lots of ideas around tax and public policy. I was elected last year to be the Member of Parliament for Chipping Barnet in North London, where I live. It's a wonderful part of this city, and I'm proud to be the first Labour MP for that part of the world. And in the last year, I've been the growth mission champion for the government. Each of the missions that this government has was given a backbench champion, and I've been championing our mission to get our economy growing so that people all over the country can be better off. And I know that HMRC plays a really important role in that mission. As a constituency MP, I see firsthand the impact of tax policy on the lives of my constituents. And even before being appointed to this job, I used to spend lots of my spare time thinking about how we can reform tax and our tax system to support economic growth and prosperity. Now I spend all of my spare time and all of my working time thinking about these questions and many other important ones relating to tax. So last September, the Chancellor announced that my predecessor would take on the role of Chair of HMRC Board, which is the first time that a minister had taken on that role. This brought new opportunities to combine the political mandate on which the government was elected with the insight of the non-executive directors and the executive committee, and the expertise of officials right across HMRC's offices in every region and nation of the UK. And I'm looking forward, when I go up to Liverpool, to go to Labour Party conference, to visiting the Liverpool office just next week. So, stepping back the last few weeks, obviously lots of government ministers have changed, but I want to be really clear to HMRC and to all the stakeholders and friends in this room that the government's approach to and plans to work with HMRC have not changed. I am fully committed to continuing the work of my predecessor as the chair of HMRC Board, both challenging the organisation to follow through on its transformation plans, but also championing its part in the government's ambitions for Britain. And HMRC's work really does power that agenda. We collect 875.9 billion in revenues in 2024-25, including protecting 48 billion, which would have otherwise gone unpaid. And HMRC's funding, as a result of the spending review, will increase from around 6 billion today to around 7 billion by the end of the decade, which will enable the most ambitious ever package of measures to close the tax gap. That investment will help deliver on the priorities of the British people, getting the NHS back on its feet, encouraging trade, securing our borders, and supporting the work of other departments in the delivery of their important objectives as this government seeks to rebuild our country. It will also transform HMRC, as we've heard, making the department more agile, empowering our people to be more innovative and productive, and embedding the very best practices from the private sector. At the heart of the government's vision is a modern tax and customs system that raises the revenue we need to support the public finances, while reducing the time that people spend managing their tax affairs and freeing businesses time to focus on investment, their people, and their communities. Hopefully we'll get to fewer paper forms and more life for all of us. And that vision is encapsulated by the government's and my 3 priorities for HMRC the priorities which are set out in the transformation roadmap, which I very much enjoyed thanks to my private office reading on day one in the job a few weeks ago. Those priorities are improving day-to-day performance and the overall customer experience, closing the tax gap, and driving reform and modernisation of the UK's tax and customs system. So let's go through each of those in turn. The government's first priority for HMRC is to improve day-to-day performance and the experience of our customers. And the investment that has been made is delivering measurable improvements. Every day, JP assures me, more and more people are getting a better service by using HMRC's digital services. And already this financial year, 1.2 million new users have downloaded the HMRC app to manage their money and tax, which is a really great thing to hear. Obviously, many more downloads to happen, I'm sure. And 3/4 of all the customer interactions with HMRC now happen through digital self-serve. And we have big ambitions, with your help, to reach at least 90% by the end of the decade, with greater automation and the latest technology, including AI. While we want to make HMRC's digital services so good that the vast majority don't need to call, we do recognise, and I definitely recognise this as a constituency MP, that there will always be people who need extra support from expert advisors. Those who do need to call are receiving a better service due to the changes that have been made. More calls are being answered quicker, with waiting times halved year on year. And while progress is being made, we can do better still, adding new digital services like that for PAYE and making those already available better, including recent improvements to digital self-assessment. These agile and iterative improvements are being developed and delivered quickly, informed by the very best practice in the private sector and many of those in this room, and crucially, in response to customer feedback. They are good examples, and there are many more, of how the department is delivering change differently. As I said earlier, the government has made a major investment to deliver on the second priority, which is closing the tax gap. By 2029-30, HMRC will bring in £7.5 billion more tax revenue, making compliance easy for those who are trying to get their tax right and tackling some of the toughest areas of compliance risk. HMRC will recruit and train an additional 5,500 new compliance caseworkers and 2,400 debt management staff by 2029-30, with more than 700 additional caseworkers and 1,200 debt management staff on board already. More than 500 compliance recruits will begin training just this month. HMRC is also scaling up its efforts to tackle offshore tax non-compliance by the wealthy. By the end of 2029-2030, an additional 400 specialists will be working in this area, and a new complex cross-tax and offshore team of 70 experts has already been established, with more to come. Now, we all know that most customers try to get their tax right. This can be made difficult if their tax affairs or the rules are complex, and intermediaries play a crucial role in helping customers navigate that complexity. So we want to make it as easy as possible to support your clients, building trust in the system and making it harder for the minority who harm it. By the end of 2028, HMRC will deliver a new digital disclosure service for customers and intermediaries to correct mistakes and pay liabilities and penalties. And from April next year, tax advisors who interact with HMRC on behalf of their clients will be required to register with HMRC, which is a first step to raising standards in the tax advice market. This change is backed with an investment of £36 million to establish a single digital registration service for practitioners. On to the third priority now, reform and modernisation. Both are critical to improving our customer experience and to closing the tax gap. And that's why over this spending review period, the government is investing £500 million in HMRC's digital services, which will help with a major step towards, which will help us becoming a truly digital-first organisation. There we go. HMRC is making strong progress to future-proof, modernise and secure its IT estate, using fewer, more efficient and cost-effective platforms to build and adapt IT products more quickly. All of this means that by 2030, HMRC will be a more agile department with more modern IT infrastructure, robust data capabilities, and more innovative technology, including AI, which may help improve Jonathan's joke-making capacity. With the right guardrails and the right oversight in place. Just over 6 months from now, in April next year, sole traders and landlords with income of over £50,000 will be required to use Making Tax Digital for their income tax obligations. And this is a key part of our plan to modernise the tax system, and we're working with all of you, our stakeholders, to ensure that businesses are ready. We now have 1,000 volunteers signed up, a growing range of software, and we'll be launching a marketing campaign next week to ensure that businesses are ready. Please help us by sharing our messages with your customers. Let me say too, I'm really grateful for the critical role that many people in this room have played in getting us to this point, preparing your members, challenging the organisation on the detail, and increasingly getting on board. We're also enhancing digital services at the border, such as the Customs Declaration Service, and launching a new AI service for the online trade tariff, helping importers and exporters, including SMEs, to trade internationally and grow, with bespoke support to help them easily understand their obligations. And we're modernising the UK's excise system, removing outdated policies and manual processes and replacing them with smarter and more efficient systems. This transformation is about more than just technology, it's also about collaboration. And these improvements show how we're working closely with industry to deliver change that is ambitious, practical, and sustainable. The transformation roadmap, I hope you've all got a copy or you'll be downloading one before too long, sets out our ambitious vision for the future of our tax and customs system. Ambitions commensurate with the importance of this fantastic department. Just as important, I'm committed to HMRC working in partnership with all of you, our stakeholders and vital players in the UK's tax and customs ecosystem, to deliver for the people of this country. This means more co-creation, more transparency, and more opportunities for you to share best practice and to challenge us on delivery, which is so very important. My commitment today is that HMRC will approach its discussions with transparency and a real willingness to listen to your ideas and work through their implications in a spirit of collaboration. Thank you for welcoming me, and thank you for taking the time to listen to my opening remarks. I really look forward to speaking with many more of you in the coming months and years ahead. Thank you.